I've been reading a lot, I've been researching, and I've been talking to a lot of people. One of the most important people that I've talked to in a long time is a guy named Andrew Green on my Facebook channel. We were talking about, and what popped into my mind when offering him some unsolicited advice, which is my personal pet peeve. I do not like when people give me unsolicited advice. But because I didn't want to be a hypocrite, I just made the statement, goals are God. Now, we all know that Aaron Moses is long-winded, but I'm going to give you a small, just a little small anecdote, right? So, I got kicked out of school in seventh grade. I don't want to speak on why. I went to an alternative school, and in this alternative school, we had to watch Touched by an Angel every day. The principal required it. He was a guy, I don't know, he was from the island somewhere. He was from Lagos or from Jamaica. I don't know where he was from. I never asked him. I didn't care. I was only in seventh grade. I was like 11. So, I really didn't care. But he was speaking on suicide and why people commit suicide and why people think they want to commit suicide. And he said the number one reason why people commit suicide is because they're not in alignment with their purpose. They don't feel or think they have a purpose. It's not because, well, there, if you can think of the plethora of reasons why people may commit suicide, I'm not talking about suicide by a cop where somebody just robbed a bank. I'm not talking about that. But if you do want to flip it into that, then we can get deeper into that on a different video. But personally, I identify with this because what I went through as far as that type of universe and what we all go through in a lot of ways is we are not aligned with what we are naturally supposed to do. Now, I'd like to tell people that they shouldn't take pride in certain things, their beauty, their intelligence, their race, even sometimes, because they didn't work for that. Their height, their their specific natural abilities, because number one, that can be easily taken away. Number two, because you didn't work for that, and because you flaunt it so freely, you have yet to understand the real meaning behind it because you didn't have to work for it. Okay. The thing about it is, guys, when we understand what goals really do for the human psyche, what goals really do to the physical brain, how the physical brain changes, what you actually focus on. I want you to do research on something called the reticular activation system. Okay, I'll just give you a small example. If I tell you to look at everything that's red in the room, right? Look around your room right now. Look around this space that you're in right now. I want you to name 7 things that are red in the room and save that in your mind. And then I turn around and say, how many blue items were in the room? You couldn't give me that answer, right? Because you honed in on your reticular activation system. Okay, it's a real thing. You can Google it. If you don't want to, you can swim in ignorance. I don't care, you know. But when you don't have goals, you begin to die. If you're a Christian, if you're a Buddhist, if you're a Satanist, if you're a Muslim, what we all have in common as human beings, as cellular beings, is we all need to have goals to survive. What is electricity? What is this beautiful animating force running through your body? What is it there for? Are you just gonna smoke it up and drink it up, and for a reason, your name, your body, your genetics, your cells are giving this what they call biological energy. Some may call ki, some may call chi, whatever you would like to call it, prana, whatever you want to call it, it's dying. There's less of it than it was when you were 20 and you were free. And now you're in a cage. You know why you're in that cage? You know why you're in prison? You know why you have a job that you chose that saved your life and you're still complaining about it every day? Because you're not in alignment. You're not in attune with your goals. You're not attuned to your goals. You know why? Because you don't have any goals. You don't have any real practical goals. When you did, when you were, when your energy was the most useful, when your energy was the most potent, what did you do? You abused it. You didn't love it. If you don't, if you don't worship anything in life, what is the word worship? To give all energy to put yourself under, to subject yourself to the laws and the understandings and the wisdoms with strict discipline. If you don't worship your God, if you don't worship your own biology, if you don't worship your goals, bro, because as beautiful as the theory that God is going to save you is, God doesn't care about your goals unless it has to do with God. Did you know that? It says it in the Bible. I haven't read all the holy text, but I can assure you that it says something similar, very similar. The goal of Christianity is to become one with Jesus and to have a Christ consciousness, right? The goal of Buddhism is to do what Buddha did, separate your ego and become one with the elements and just dissipate and just whatever. Same thing as Luciferian, very similar thing to Luciferianism, very similar to Satanism, very similar to Hinduism. All these politicians, all of these religious leaders, all of these salesmen, everybody has one thing in common. And that thing in common is they worship their goals. Why? Because cash is king, right? Credit is queen, and goals are God. Stop playing, bro. And I just posted a picture of me ordering that expensive protein powder. I got the weights that convert into a bench press bar, and I got 12 packs of sage for $21 because those are my goals, bro. Serenity, power, and balance. Those are my goals. You don't have to write them. You should write them down. You could do the whole cliche, write them down, put them all over your wall, write them down every day. When you do push ups, put them on the floor. You could do all of that. You can do all of that. But are you really gonna commit yourself to it? Are you really gonna record it in your phone? And that's the first thing you listen to while you smoke that L or when you're running your bath water? Is that what you're really gonna do? What do people do? Why back in the day in ancient civilizations, these people didn't war over money. They warred over they battled over misunderstanding and cultural differences, something real, something they actually felt in their hearts, and something they actually felt in their mind, body, and their souls. That's why they warred. Because their goals were their gods. Their gods were their goals. And people didn't align with those goals. And you are being so you don't have you're being so passive. You're being so passive about this. It's not a joke. It's not a joke, and it's not something that you can be passive about. These people, what they all had in common was that they were obsessed. They were willing to die. Are you willing to die? No, you're not. I can tell you're not willing to die. I can tell. You know why? Because. Yeah, but obsession is not a bad thing, bro. Especially if you're obsessed with me. That's bars right there. I'm kind of high. It's okay. hmm But anyways, guys, goals are God, bro. Say it with me now. Say it with me. No, it's not even that. I don't even. I just wanted to show you my new piece. It's beautiful and it matches my shirt. Crack party. But no, I don't smoke crack. It's a song called "Crack Party" by Casino on the Free Bands FBG label. Hard, bro. That's the hardest song I know. That's the hardest song, and then Dope Easy, Doughboy song. Try it. That's the second hardest song. But that Crack Party, the only reason that Doughboy song is actually slightly harder than the Casino Crack Party song is because Doughboy sounds like his own self. Casino in that song sounded like Future, but I digress. Goals are God, bro. If you don't want to worship God, if you don't want to worship Yahweh, you don't want to worship Satan, probably. You don't want to worship Buddha. Worship your goals, bro. Worship yourself. You can't go wrong with that. Even if I'll just flip it. Let's see if we could flip it this way. If you obsess with the goal of being like God, bro, that's still a goal. That's still a great, amazing goal, depending on who you ask. Okay, it's nothing wrong with trying to be like God. God had all these cool powers and he created creation and Satan. God created Satan. So that's cool. I mean, at least we have an adversary to make us better. Even though I don't believe that, some people say that. That's not important. But goals are God, bruh. It's a fact. Goals are God. Goals. People say money rules the world. Money moves the world. Money is, unfortunately, bro, the world that people respect and love on a mainstream level. Money is the chi of this world. But goals are the body, which money moves through. And if you want a body, if you want some big ass tatas, if you want a big booty, and if you want a 12-inch digging stick, you're gonna have some goals that you gotta set, bro. It doesn't matter what you do right now, as long as these goals are in place and you are prepared to worship them, bro. If you're not little, you're big. And if you're not weak, you're strong, bro. And if you make those your goals, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna become goals. You are gonna be goals. People are gonna be posting you on their Instagram and their Facebook and Twitters, and you're gonna be goals. And what are goals, Aaron Moses? God. Become God with your goals. Peace.